and Honorable PK will handle that.
Thank you very much.
Chairman, Chairman, if I may come in, I think the officer made mention of the end of the quarter, not the end of this month, the first quarter. That's what he said. So just
Minister, you may want to vary it. You can vary it. I mean, you are within your, no. But we heard him right. We just started a new year. Today is 13th. So certainly March will certainly come. And so,
no, you see, yes. Whatever he said, the whole country listening to him. So, all right, financials.
With a surplus of 29,453,799.48, which makes you solvent. However, it's a sharp decline if you compare this to what you got the previous year, 2022. There's some 22.7% decline in your financial performance. Are you able to tell this committee?
Ask my head of finance to
provision that we made in the year 2023. About 22 million Ghana cedis provision was made.
Well, provision was made for
provision
what purpose?
For payment of receivables.
Well, so is that an indication that the current trend would continue, especially with...
Please, the trend will change. In 2024, in fact, when you look at the financials, the performance is far better than 2023 and even 2022.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much. Mr. Chair, I think their financials look good. There's no liquidity crisis indicated in the financials, and I think I'll leave that to that.
Ghana Shippers Authority, you are discharged. Now let's call Ghana Airport Company. Could you please introduce yourself to the committee? Have you already introduced yourself to the committee? Please introduce yourself to the committee.
Good morning, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members. My name is Yvonne Opari, and I'm the MD for Ghana Airports Company Limited. Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is John Okwesi Arthur. I'm the Group Executive Finance, Ghana Airports.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. I'm Kendall Felix Mauchuini. I'm Director, Aviation Security, Ghana Airport Company Limited.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Cynthia Kuka, Manager, Financial Accounting, Ghana Airport.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. Please, I'm Ama Siedu, Assistant Director of Finance, Ghana Airports. Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Kwame Bafuwa. I'm the Group Executive in charge of Commercial Services.
Good morning, Honorable Chair.
We'll start with your financials, and Honorable Abner Sayasai will handle that.
Thank you. At the airport, whilst you prepare to.
Honorable Chair, the current state of affairs with respect to finished, well, we are at the tail end of our busiest season, which is the Christmas season. We've seen a lot of passengers coming through. We've been able to facilitate them securely and efficiently. And we have made also arrangements, parking arrangements. There was a bit of congestion at our car parks. We made arrangements for overflow car parking. And so generally our operations are going very well. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Minister, it means you're doing a good job. Remember the incident we had at the airport the other day?
Yes,
and immediately you handled it. So
I must add that monitoring our visitors, both international and domestic visitors, they gave us thumb ups during the festive periods. The way our workers were friendly, the way they handled their issues. We must commend the airport staff for the good job.
So we go to your financials, your financial performance for, this is for 2022 and 2023. Can you please tell us what goes into your aeronautical revenue?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Our aeronautical revenue has to do with our landing fees, parking fees, navigational charges. There are LED lights also on the runway, and then our passenger boarding bridges. Anything concerning airside revenue has to do with aeronautical revenue.
The non will be what in particular, please?
Yes, ma'am. The non-aeronautical revenue has to do with our land side, which is commercial, rental, car parks, offices, royalties on businesses operating at the airport. That will be our non-aeronautical revenue.
I'm looking at your expenditure, and then I'm looking at depreciation and amortization for the group. $4,903.71 for the company. Can you explain that? Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I will defer to our Group Executive Finance, and he will take care of that question.
Mr. Chairman, we're talking about the depreciation and amortization. The figure for the group is 172,422,000.
Respectfully, I'm looking at the report here by the Auditor General.
Oh, I think I missed that because I was looking at the difference. So then it's fine because the jump was huge, but it's the difference that I looked at. So I think it's fine. It's 171 in the group. It's 166, 166. So yes, I think I'm okay with that now. Yeah, lots of things are dropping. A lot of things are dropping. Your finance costs is coming down as a group, and then I see your general administration also coming down as as a group. I'm looking at the group. Yes. Can you explain?
This is actually as a result of efficient management of our expenses, and also, so that is the reason for it. In fact, within the year under review, what we did was we set certain targets for all departments, and we ensured that we followed it regularly. Thank you.
So are you telling the people of Ghana that there's justification in the cost or the increase in airport charges because once they pay, you put
Madam Chair, yes, please. We will manage it very efficiently, and it will be evident to the people of Ghana.
Yes, but it looks like people complain or passengers complain that your charges are relatively higher compared to other airports. You want to give me comfort in this drop in expenditure that even if it's higher, you are using it for a good cause. Have you compared your airport charges to the airports around you, and relatively, what can you say? That is ours higher, or does it make it more expensive to travel to Ghana than to other places? Can you share your thoughts?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So comparatively, we are about number 4 in the region, in Africa. In the world, we rank about 15. So it may be expensive.
In terms of service or
in terms
cost?
of cost. In terms of cost. It may be expensive. However, there are critical infrastructure that we need to implement if we want to see Ghana as the aviation hub. Without those infrastructure being in place, we wouldn't be anywhere near that's way ahead of us in South Africa. And so all these airports that I've mentioned have certain infrastructure that we yet don't have. So we need to implement some of these charges in order.
In 2023, I think we saw some positives, and I hope that you continue to work hard to reduce your expenditure, work within the funding that you have, and as much as possible, the revenues that you raise.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Your loans, tell me, because you have 100% retention on your IGF. How are you servicing those loans?
So our loans are serviced from our non-aeronautical revenue and aeronautical revenue. Mainly the aeronautical revenue is what we use to service the Terminal 3 loan. We've since refinanced the loan. I believe at the end of 2024, we were able to refinance the loan, 250 million. And so now we have better terms on the interest, but now we have it to 4.75. So even though it's 1%, it's quite significant. And we've also increased the tenure of the loan. to 8 years from 5 years. So all in all, we are better positioned. And then since the Terminal 3, Ghana Airports Company has also never defaulted once on the loan repayment. And so we are in a good position.
What do you hold in plants, property, and equipment? Just give me an idea of what you hold in plants and equipment. As for property, but plants and equipment, what do you hold? What do you own in terms of assets?
As far as assets, meaning our landed property, we have.
There's a property, plant, and equipment. I just want to know the kind of plant and equipment that Ghana Airports owns, aside the properties that you have.
All right. I'll turn it over to our finance.
Yeah, Madam Chair, included in the airports, all the airports in the country, talking about even the runway, talking about the equipment, the scanning machines, and all the facilities that we use for facilitation. So that is exactly what we have. They are very, very significant assets, and that is what we have shown here, Madam.
I was thinking you had some small plane that was also going around. That's why I asked. I wanted to, that aside the properties, in terms of plants and equipment, but don't you think it's high time you think of at least owning one for domestic purposes, and that will also rake in some revenue for you? That's just my thoughts, but I think on the whole, Ghana Airports, there's more room for improvement. There's more room for improvement in terms of your current ratio. I mean, the ideal is 1:1. But the kind of work that you do and what you have been through, the COVID with the shutdown of the airports and everything, you will take some time to recover. But I want you to double your steps and make sure in no time you get to the one, at least a minimum of 1:1 in terms of your current ratio. But on the whole, I wish you all the best. Continue to upgrade your services and make sure we get to that level where everybody would love to come to Ghana because of the services that they receive at the Ghana airport. So, on this note, I think I'd like to bring my submission to an end.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a management issue, and Honorable Duke William Allen Kwame Amwakwata Oforiatta will ask those questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Management, the infraction is entitled Payment of Avoidable Fine to the tune of 200,000 Ghana cedi. Impose a fine of 200,000 cedis on the airport company for failing to release information requested by a media house. The inability to release the information resulted in a fine or a surcharge, which is a loss to the company. And what more worrying, poses a risk to the reputation of Ghana Airport Company, because right now you have a very high repute in service delivery. The auditors were informed by the PFM Act that the 200,000 cedis should be recovered from the individuals, which is the MD and the management team. I want to know, has that money been recovered? What is the status of that? Because it is public funds and it should not have been, if it was paid, it was unbudgeted for, which is offends the Public PFM Act.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Concerning the RTI infraction, the board at the time directed the managing director at the time to plead or appeal to the RTI Commission on certain exemptions that were permitted in the RTI law. And so in compliance and in alignment with the law, which permits state institutions non-disclosure of information, the board at the time directed the managing director, and the information was disclosed, but it was disclosed late. And so that was why the company or the RTI fined the managing director.
Honorable Chair, they have presented some documents indicating that the amount has been recovered, but we would confirm it later and revert to the committee.
Thank you. I have a second question. I want to know if management has developed an in-house manual to deal with requests for information from the public.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Madam, I have another question over here. Increasing number of weapons and ammunition carried by passengers. This, I think, is really serious. On paragraph 1110 from the auditors, it says, according to the Director of Aviation Security, all cases of the above were referred to National Investigation Bureau for the necessary action. However, the passengers were allowed to board their flights due to the absence of a policy on passengers carrying weapons. Does it mean that they allow them to board the plane with their weapons?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Currently, we have a directive from Civil Aviation, who is the operator, the regulator of the aerodromes in Ghana. And the directive indicates that a person commits an offense if that person carries a weapon or ammunition into an aerodrome or an aircraft for the purpose of traveling without the relevant authorization or declaration to an air operator. So if you do not have the requisite license, you are not allowed to travel with a weapon. And so currently to that occurrence, there was no law or no act in place.
So then they could carry their weapons.
At that time, yes. Please.
Wow.
On the flight.
On the flight.
Chair, what happened was that anytime you were in the airport with a weapon, it was taken to a different apartment, not with you, till you alight that the weapon will be given back to you. So those were the arrangements. But now, we now have a direct airport.
So if you have a weapon with you at the airport, what happens?
So licensed, you are able to travel with it. If it is not licensed, we confiscate it and send it to National Investigation Bureau.
What if it's licensed, but you haven't declared it?
If it's not declared, we'll still confiscate.
You see, on paragraph 1112, the auditor said we recommended to management to promptly develop and implement a comprehensive policy regarding passengers carrying weapons. This policy should outline strict guidelines and procedures for screening and handling passengers with weapons to ensure safety and security of all individuals within the airport. So, you have a weapon, you have licensed it. When you get to the airport, what should you do?
you disclose it, that you are carrying a license
Whom will you disclose it to?
the Aviation Security Department of the airport.
We are talking about Terminal 2, not Terminal 3 now. Those are the local flights.
Yes.
Local flights, Terminal 2.
Yes, please.
Okay, so you disclose it to the airport security.
Yes, please.
Okay, and then the general public to know the procedure. That is all.
All right. Just a moment. I'll defer to our Director of Aviation Security, and he'll go through the procedure with you.
So, Honorable Chairman, the procedure is that when you arrive at the airport with your weapon, you want to travel with a weapon, we check whether you have a license for the weapon. If you have the license for the weapon, then now we will assist you to be able to carry the weapon on board. If you don't have a license, then we will confiscate the weapon, hand it over to National Investigations Bureau for them to take it up from there. But if you also don't declare to us, and then we detect it by screening, we will also confiscate it and then hand it over to NIB.
So, okay, all right.
Thank you, Chair. I want to find out the assistance that you offer to people carrying weapons. How is that assistance? Is it that they are allowed to board the aircraft with a weapon, or you take it and conceal them at a designated area and give it to them when they alight?
Chair, like I earlier on said, when you declare your weapon to the airport security, they will assist you by taking it from you. They have containers or they have packs where they will put it after the trip. Then you will come back to them. And then they will now hand it over to you. That is when you are for necessary actions.
Chair. So, Ghana Airport. Ghana Airport. So, at the time of the audit, you promised that you were going to have in place a weapon declaration policy with a yes or no answer. Do you have the weapon declaration policy in place?
Yes, we do.
You do. Auditors, can you confirm if Ghana Airport has a weapon declaration policy in place?
Honorable Chair, we would have to verify that.
All right. So it's good you have shared a copy of the policy involved, that some 2,077 rounds of ammunition and 20 weapons were intercepted. Kindly use your PR unit to issue a public statement. Let the Ghanaian people know, or let the world know, what it means to carry weapons at Ghana's airport, so that everybody is guided and people are not taken by surprise and all of that. Thank you very much.
We'll do so this week. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
all right.
Madam, we have a few sorry. Public interest. Yes, Madam, thank you, Chairman. Madam MD and your staff, thank you. You're doing a good job. But except I'm from Upper West region. Many people have complained about the cost of domestic flight. What goes into it? Well, if I'm going to Wa, I pay no less than 3,000 to go to Wa, just in a flight of 1 hour, 20 minutes. Tamale, Sunyani, even Kumasi, the distance. So we want to know, even Takoradi is the shortest, but they are complaining. What goes into the price build-up, and what can you do about it? The Ghanaian populace is complaining. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The price for domestic tickets indeed is quite expensive. Unfortunately, it doesn't lie in the domain of Ghana Airports Company. It's an airline issue. And so what we can do as the operator is just to engage and appeal that the prices are reduced. Also, because there is a duopoly of domestic carriers, meaning just two airlines operating at the moment, if we are able to get more domestic carriers, the competition will force the prices to go down. And so we are working on seeing if we can get more domestic carriers to operate. In the country. Thank you.
Because let me help you. And then the flight was delayed on your face. If you made a comment, Women Best Airport, Ghana Airport Company, to wait. They will attribute this one to airport.
Thank you. Honorable Chair, the incident that happened on Sunday, for example, sometimes there are technical issues which the airlines cannot control. There was a bird strike, meaning a bird had hit the aircraft, and so the aircraft had to be grounded and check and the airline, and so the cancellation sometimes is not within their control. Not that I'm advocating for them, but honestly, some cancellations are technical in nature, and it is not within the control of the airlines. But generally, it's possible. There has to be on-time performance so that there aren't frequent cancellations causing general public and our passengers not to be happy with the service. And so we continue these stakeholders.
Passengers are entitled to some level of compensation. Is there any policy like that for domestic flights? If not, I mean, I want, and we are live on TV. I mean, the Ghanaian people are watching us. I want people to know their right, so that when there's a flight that is cancelled or delayed, the person can take some action to remedy it.
Yes, normally on international flights, long-haul flights, when there is a cancellation, the airline would make accommodation for a hotel and maybe food vouchers, etc. But for domestic flights, 30 minutes flights, 45 minutes flights, there isn't any at the moment. And I must also put on record that all these are airline questions, not Ghana Airports Company questions. The airlines operate it. Okay, so Ghana Airports Company, it's like it's like a landlord, and all the airlines operate within our facility, but we don't regulate their day-to-day operations, and so we can only appeal to them.
Thank you. So, Chair, my question. All right. So, in the 2026 budget, the government announced that they were going to create a seamless route from T2 to Terminal 3. Is it going to be a concourse? Is there going to be an automatic tram? What is it that the Ghanaian people should be expecting from Ghana Airport in the year 2026?
Thank you, Chair. Let me state here that as a government working with the airport management, our mind is to have an efficient and a well-functioning airport. Now, we experience a lot of congestions in the evenings at Terminal 3 at peak hours. We have Terminal 2 that is not that busy when it gets to the peak hours. So the mind is to do a connecting concourse between Terminal 2 and Terminal 3, just to facilitate the movement of our international passengers so that we can share the Terminal 2 with Terminal 3 for our international passengers who are the majority of the travelers. And so it's a high government priority project, kind of comfort for our traveling passengers. So the Terminal 2 will now be a multi-purpose terminal for domestic and international. Thank you.
And the assurance is this year. That's what the minister said, this year. Thank you very much. We look forward to it in the spirit of reset.
Ghana Airport Company, you are discharged. Now let's call Ghana Maritime Authority. Could you please introduce yourself to the committee?
Chair, my name is Naval Retired
Madam Chair, my name is Anthony Mba, the Acting Head of Finance, Ghana Maritime Authority.
Madam Chair, my name is Peniel Martin Mensah, the Acting Head of Internal Audit, Ghana Maritime Authority.
Madam Chair, my name is Issa Kantajare, Corporate Communications Officer, Ghana Maritime Authority.
All right, Honorable Akosukunedo will go through your financials with you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Minister and DG, welcome.
Thank you,
DG, we will first be looking at your statement of financial performance, and we would want to be looking at the revenue and the expenditure aspect pertaining to the year 2023. That's what we have. First and foremost, what constitutes your revenue item? Because there seems to have been about 68% increment in just about 1 year between 2022 and 2023. What are the components of your revenue?
Thank you, Chair. The major revenue item for the Ghana Maritime Authority is one, maritime safety charge. A maritime safety charge are charges that are levied against ships to be paid by principals, which are largely foreign-owned ships. The second one has to do with a service charge that we collaborate with Ghana Shippers Authority that we share 50-50 per the law. And the third one is we have seafarers that we train and license to work on ships.
So the licensing fee from these seafarers account for one of the major items in our revenue lines. Thank you.
Oh, okay, good. I ask this because if you look at the next line item, there is what we term as other incomes. And in the year 2022, you had almost 72 million of that. But in 2023, there was nothing for other incomes. What were the constitution of the other incomes in the previous year that in 2023 had nothing to account for?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The other income as reported in our financials are basically exchange rate valuation. So in 2022, you know, the exchange rate was very high in terms of the dollar to CD rate. And as I said earlier on, our maritime safety charges are stated in USD because the principals of these foreign vessels that comes are based outside. So per the law, the fees are in dollars. So if you translate into cedis, then you'll get the higher exchange rate. So the 72 was an exchange gain in 2022. In 2023, we had an exchange loss. So it came to our other side as an expense.
How come you had an exchange loss? Is it that, yes, a translation of the cedis or the dollars into cedis? So how come you had an exchange rate loss? Or is it that, if I may, so that you don't go far, that you by yourself peg the rate of the cedi to the dollar at the beginning of the year, such that whenever there is a gain or a loss in terms of the strength of the cedi, then that reflection comes in? Is that your contention?
I think you are right, Honorable Member. We use.
Is it that I am right or you think I'm right?
You are right, Honorable. The budget, usually it is based on the rate we use for budgeting versus the actuals that happens on the daily basis on the market. That account for the differences.
So that means an increase or a depreciation of the cedi. And
See, some of these agencies are the reason why some record exchange losses. Bank of Ghana shows a rate every day. Then you sit here and say that I have pegged the cedi to the dollar at a certain rate for 3 months, 4 months, even when things are swinging, things are changing. And then at the end of the year, you either record a loss or a gain. Is that the law? That Bank of Ghana shows a rate every day in as much as you want to plan and know you have an idea, a fair idea of the revenues that come.
Madam Chair, I may need to explain myself further. At the end of December 2022, the Bank of Ghana has a closing rate. And in budgeting for 2023, we use the closing rate to translate your revenue into cedis. However, the clients are paying the daily rate as published by Bank of Ghana. For accounting purposes, you will compare what was reported in your budget against what has actually been paid. It could be less, it could be more. But if you translate it, yes, so at the end of 2022, if the rate was 15, January 30th, the rate is, let's say, 12. It is the 12 that the client is paying. He's not paying the 15. But the 15 was what was used to do the budget and not charge. Them based on the rate that the customers pay.
Currency keeps, it's not as strong as we want it to be. And then this is why agencies who interact or do business again, it is fine. But when it's a loss, government loses money. And so I think we should look at this carefully and agree on a measure of our country, because we cannot be doing this to ourselves every day. We come and then we see one agency recording an exchange loss of 2 billion, 3 billion Ghana cedis, all because of a translation. So we are calling on them, companies or agents. Let's because government upon government does a lot to sustain our currency against our major trading currencies. But and if an agency, because and they have a rate that they pick at the beginning of the year, and then at the end of the year, they translate it when there's a gain, when there's a loss, something that really reflects what is on the ground. So, Minister, respectfully, I'll ask that you please help the government. When you sit here and you see the exchange loss, no, it is that you about at the end of the day. So it comes to these things.
Thank you, Chairman. So am I to take it that your other expenses, as seen under your expenditure, is what you would also term as exchange rate losses?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay. What are the components of your non-current assets? I am asking this on the backdrop of an increase in your impairment losses on your financial assets, because you are looking at from 8 million to 27 million. That is over 220% in terms of impairment losses.
Our non-current assets is made largely from 3 buildings that we are currently putting up in the head office that is just close to Parliament House. We have one at Tema and one at Takoradi. And as a maritime authority, we deal with ships and we do patrols within the maritime domain. So we have about 11 vessels in our fleet, which previously we were not having those kind of vessels in our fleet. So in those assets are the assets that account for the non-current asset.
When was the acquisition of these 11 vessels made?
It started from largest vessels for search and rescue purposes and oil spill response.
So that is accounting for the over 19 million difference in terms of impairment losses.
The impairment losses were the revaluations of our receivables, and 2, we had an investment with some of the defunct financial companies that the auditors recommended that we should impair for it because the recovery of such investment seems to be remote.
But once you put them on your financial statement and you're making provisions for them and you're not taking them off and you're also not going to have it, it obviously would reflect negatively on the financial statement. So why don't you go to the board for such investment losses just to be taken off from your books total, because you aren't going to have it and you are continuously going to put it on your books.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have been able to recover one from CBG Bank, and the other one will take your suggestion into consideration. Thank you.
Your finance cost increased over 200%. Is it that you are taking on more loans?
Yes, so these 3 buildings that I've mentioned were financed from a loan facility from syndicated local banks.
Right, Chairman. I think we are good to go. The current ratio isn't bad. It has increased to 2.1 to 1. Please.
Okay, Ghana Maritime Authority, you are discharged. Now let's call Ghana Civil Aviation. Could you please introduce yourself to the committee?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. My name is Reverend Stephen Wilfred Arthur, the Acting Director General of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Theophilus Adonis Ayi-Ago, the Acting Deputy Director General Technical. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair and the members of the committee. My name is William Afotu, the Acting Director of Finance, Ghana Civil Aviation.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Benjamin Kweku Eshen, the Director of General Services.
Good morning, Madam Chair. My name is Gordon Kunkaundulbare, Director, Internal Audit.
All right, now let's go through your financials. Now your total income increased by 60%. What caused that?
Honorable Chair, with your kind permission, I would permit the Acting Director of Finance to handle this question. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the increase in revenue was as a result of increase in air traffic over the Accra Flight Information Region, as well as an increase in passenger numbers for the year 2023. That translated into the increase in revenue. Thank you.
Now your operating losses of 62 million in 2023. What was the cause of that?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The losses here refer to the exchange losses, which are as a result of the revaluation of loans that are on our books. So we took a facility, a syndicated facility in USD in 2022. And so the exchange loss that resulted for the revaluation closing 2022 as against the bulk of the loan translated as at the end of 2023. So what we see there is the net exchange loss as a result of these translations.
But I'm sure when you were sitting down there, you had a lecture on exchange losses, the currency rate. You had it. Or do you want a repeat of that?
I heard.
Okay, now cost of operation. It increased by 63 million Ghana cedis. Why?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the cost of operation, especially in the area of general and admin, the significant portion of it had to do with was on the AIS building. In 2023, when we had completed it, was commissioned. So now we started charging depreciation on it. Yes, so the significant part of it had to do with the depreciation charge in respect of the headquarters building. and also on the impairment of receivables. Even though in terms of debt stock, the receivables have decreased, but if you translate your debts at the end of 2023, you realize that because of the exchange rate effect, the impairment was up. So that also did account for.
But you at the same time to have 33 million in finance costs.
The 33 million in finance costs deals specifically with a short-term portion of the loan repayable in 2024. So that short-term, the 33 million there refers, when we transfer the asset in 2023, we were running other projects. The loan that we took was a syndicated facility for two major projects, the headquarters building and the ANS facility. Now, when we transfer the headquarters building as a fixed asset, dig into capital work in progress because the asset was finished and transferred. So we had to capture that as a finance cost. And so that explains the finance cost in the 2023 as against no finance cost in 2022 because we had finished and transferred the asset in 2023.
Now, when you look at your general and administrative expenses, it increased by over 100 million Ghana cedis. What at all is in this general and administrative expenses?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I
Sir.
had explained.
I've ignored the Madam Chair. You keep on calling me Madam.
Thank you, Honorable.
I'm gender neutral.
Okay. No, you can't be gender So the general and admin, I had earlier on explained that the impairment and the depreciation are captured under general and admin. And that is what I accounted for the movement in general and admin. When it comes to the real cost of operation, it just had to do with repairs and maintenance on some of our key equipment. 2023, that really had to do with the depreciation and the impairment of receivables.
Now, if you look at your current ratio, you went from 3.9 to 1 to 1.8 to 1.
Yes, thank you, Honorable. The current ratio actually declined. And declined because we had to book finance cost in 2023 as a result of the fact that we had taken a facility and that the interest component we could no longer capitalize because the project was completed and we had transferred. And so the decrease in the ratio was as a result of the finance cost that was booked in 2023.
I have quite a lot of questions to ask, but I will spare you that. Okay. Let's go to your management issues. Okay. And Madam Honorable Faustina Elekplim Akurugu will go for the management issues.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This has to do with management issues. 10 bungalows have been abandoned. Can you tell us why? Just to rot.
Was duly taken note of, and we must report that we have taken steps by way of the evaluation panel being constituted, and as we speak, some of the bungalows have been awarded on contract, whilst others are waiting for the commitment authorization from the Ministry of Finance. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Can you be specific? Because we have 7 in Kumasi and then 3 in Tamale. Which ones are being awarded? So that we'll be able to trace to know that it's true. Whatever you are saying is true. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. 2 for Tamale and 2 for Kumasi.
Can the accountants General audit, sorry, can auditor, confirm for us?
Honorable Chair, the assertion is accurate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. No further questions.
Now, how many of these bungalows have been completed? I have a different view about government bungalows, which I will not espouse right now. How many of them have been completed?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. They are yet to be completed.
Why do we treat government bungalows like this? If it's a government bungalow, is it for top executive or for the ordinary worker at civil aviation? These bungalows.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The bungalows are for staff.
I know for staff.
Either for general staff or for management staff.
But I'm sure if it was for management staff, these would have been completed.
Honorable Chair, we have taken good note of your concerns and we'll continue to do the needful.
Master, the general staff that works for all these big companies, when you see the accommodation, but if it's a big man that needs to have 13 air conditions in the house, that building will be completed in no time so that the big man will live comfortably. If you don't like those buildings, give them to me. I'll renovate them and rent them. Management, your response was the airport was closed during the COVID-19 period, resulting in a significant decrease in revenue of the authority. Therefore, budgetary constraints led to the inability and authority to locate funds for the repair and maintenance of the bungalows. Oh, so when do you envisage this renovation will be done?
For two of them that are in progress in terms of the documentation, hopefully by the first half of the year, and then the remaining will be done or completed before the end of the year.
Before the end of the year?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Auditors keep note of that, and then if they haven't done it, they will come back. Yes. Okay, so Ghana Civil Aviation, you are discharged. Now let's call Airport Clinic.
Honorable Chair, we are
Aviation Social Center is also under you, right?
Honorable Chair, no, please. They are on their own, but I think they are part of the Ghana Airport Company Limited Group.
So let's call Airport Clinic, please. Is Aviation Social Center also here? They are also here, okay. Please introduce yourself to the committee.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm Dr. Kilian Buampong Konam, the Director of Health Services for the Airport Clinic. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Thomas Amia, Director of Finance, Airport Clinic.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Brighter Dubonsu, Assistant Manager, Finance.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Alex Kisi, Administrator of the clinic.
Honorable Kwesi Kwenedu will go through the financials with you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Doc, welcome.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
Just two quick ones. I mean, your financials look good. Your current ratio is also all right. And I mean, your figures, they almost hover around the same areas. You don't have any percentage increment in more than about 40 or so percent, with the exception of taxation. And those are those provisions, the taxation figures you have in it, because in 2022 you had 535,000, and in 2023 you had 303,000. Are those provisions that you raise in the account or the actual payment of taxes?
Thank you, Honorable. I'll defer to my Director of Finance. Thank you.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, there are actual provisions in the account.
Provisions, but not payments.
There are provisions, yeah, in the accounts.
Okay, because that makes sense, because you had your comprehensive income reducing in the year, and so that will be all right. And what do you term as growth and sustainability?
Honorable Chair, I think there was a law or an act that 2.5% of your profit before tax should be paid as a growth and sustainability tax. And I think this was passed by this parliament. I think so, yeah. In 2023. So that is that. So in 2022 we didn't have, so it came in 2023.
And if you look at the figure, the figure is not a payment, because if you are supposed to pay, then the figure ought not to be in brackets as a provision, but it's in a bracket as a provision.
It's an expenditure item.
Yes. Yeah. It's an expenditure, and I mean, if you put it under the expenditure, you probably don't have to still put it in parentheses. That means you are making them as a provision of non-payment yet, if you agree with me.
Honorable Chair, in the preparation of accounts, once you get your profit before tax, anything that comes, supposing we don't have that, then anything that will come will be the tax profit after tax. But this one is additional tax, so that's why it's in brackets. So it's an expenditure item. Thank you.
Last, your comprehensive income. I mean, the reduction is very huge, but there aren't any reflective expenditure increments that should have occasioned almost 1.3 million down to 296,000. If you look at the statements we have in front of us, there are no corresponding expenditure figures that ought to reduce that amount. Because in 2022, your total income was 27 million and 2023 was 26. Your expenditure was still the same, 25 million, 25 million. So to reduce in that excess, I mean, that is very huge. What is accounting for that?
So, Honorable Chair, I think if you are looking at, I mean, if you are taking them one by one, you will see that 2022, we have the total revenue of 27 million, and the 2023, we have 26 million. But when you come to the expenses, okay, if you want me to explain some difference here, in 2022, we had a COVID testing, and the revenue in the COVID testing in 2022 was about 10 million. In 2023, it was 650,000, and that is actually accounting for the decrease in the actual revenue here. And for that matter, the bottom line, that's the net profit.
Airport clinic.
Yes, please.
A bird just whispered to me that the clinic is going to be pulled down. Where is the new location going to be, or if it is true?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. In fact, we are not aware of this. We are hearing it from you for the first time this morning that our clinic building will be pulled down. However, some land has been allocated for the putting up of an ultra-modern hospital. We are still, discussing the source of funding. But this is something that our parent company, which is the Ghana Airports Company, is looking at. And we're hoping that before long, we will have a more permanent facility. Thank you.
But you just said that you are hearing it for the first time. But another land has been located for you. And you'll be building an ultra-modern one over there. So the likelihood of this old clinic going down is already in your mind. And somebody's whispering to me. Then you are saying that this is the first time you've heard about it. Hey.
Chair, the issue of our airport intention is to have a bigger facility to be able to serve the airport. These are plans that we are taking. They are not yet at the implementation stage. So the doctor will not be part of the positions as at now. But the intention is that we will need a bigger facility to be able to serve our airport because it is growing on a daily basis. So till a facility is provided, the current facility is what we are having as our airport clinic.
When do you think the new facility will start?
No any fixed date yet, but these are plans we are putting in place to ensure that we will expand to go along with the expansion of our airport in general.
So my bird, who whispered to me, was probably in your cabinet meeting or whatever it is. Okay. All right.
Minister, thank you very much. This is question. You make mention that there is going to be expansion of the airport, and it's actually getting expansion projects every day. I would like to find out in the future, do you have any plans to actually, in terms of expansion, have hotel facilities within the airport? Because when you travel all over the world, there is hotel facilities close inside the airport. Do you have any plans, Sato?
Thank you, Chair. We have some already projects going on at the airport that are intended to be used for hostel facilities. However, with the plan of building a bigger terminal for a car park, we are envisaging that the car park will have a hotel at its top to complement whatever new projects that we are getting in terms of hotel facilities. So there are private developers who are currently going through the processes of completing their facilities to be used for hotel facilities. But government, through the Airports Company Limited, is also having in mind of having a car park with some kind of hotel facilities included in it. Thank you.
Okay, Ghana Airport. Airport clinic, you are discharged. Now, could you please introduce yourself to the committee?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. I'm Major General Paul Seydou Tanyekuluno, the Acting Director General, Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, my name is Tebon Zuma, the Acting Director of Port for Tema.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Khalid Nuhu, Head of Finance, Ghana Ports and Harbors.
Good morning. My name is Kamla Ofori, Head of Engineering, GPHA.
Honorable Chair, my name is Gifty MFI Janko, Acting General Manager, Audit.
Thank you very much for coming. Honorable OPK will handle your financials.
Thank you very much. And looking at your financials, and it indicates a very strong and revenue-generating agency from the position of your operational ability than more of a distress. And we see your continued ability to generate significant operational income, your capacity to meet recurrent expenditure, and there's no indication of insolvency or liquidity crisis in the audit narrative. However, the auditors recommend that you should be held to a higher compliance standard under Act 921, and so basically, I think that you are performing well. I don't see anything. Just that we expect higher demands from your end, and I want to commend the management for that, and also to commend the minister for this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority, you are discharged. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, thank you very much. We are grateful.
Thank you very much. Now let's call Aviation Social Center, please. Please introduce yourself to the committee.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Abigail Sapo. I'm the General Manager for Aviation Social Center.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Dennis Agbonoevi. I'm the accountant.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is George Kwatin Amani, Fitness.
Honorable Frank Yeboah will go through your financials with you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Aviation Social Center Limited. Let me start with your financial performance. And let me start with the good news first. I'm seeing some increase in your revenue from 919,000 to 1.5 million, representing about 64%. Have you created any new revenue line or what? What accounted for that?
Honorable Chair, I'll defer that one to my accountant to answer. Thank you.
Yes, please, Honorable Chair, we've created additional revenue lines. And these are principally advertisements. We entered into agreement with concessionaires, so they do adverts in front of the place. That place is the airport bypass, so you have a lot of space there to do adverts. So that's what is giving us additional revenue.
So you are attempting to say that the new line wasn't there in 2022, but it came in 2023. Is that the case?
It actually caught up in 2023 because we started the whole process around 2020 when we were looking for people to do the advertisement. But finally, we caught up in 2023.
Let's go to other income. 22% increase. What's the component of your other income?
Basically, it's the rental of a floor space, leasing of floor space for other people to come and operate in our environment.
Okay. What's the secret so the other companies can learn from you?
Well,
have an increment. But if we go down to operating expenses, there's a reduction from 823,000 to 758. And I'm saying that it's a good thing that we've done. So share the secret with us so the other companies can learn from you.
Well, just our hands on operational costs. We just manage to make sure that we control on
the admin and general expenses. Because if we look at it, it moved from 844,000 to 1.787 million. So almost 1.8 million, from 800 to 1.8 million. 1 million increase. And you are saying that you did that magic. That's why I intentionally praise you there. I knew I'm going to get to here. So, what accounted for that? Well, I'm not sure government increased salaries by 120%.
Principally, what happened was that we had an exchange loss of almost 4,000 Ghana cedis, because we're making payment for equipment we bought in 2019. And so we had to make that payment in 2023. And that time, the exchange rate escalated. So we suffered a lot
from that.
Yes, please.
So I'm seeing income tax expense. Can you throw more light on that?
Sir, this were actual payment made, Honorable.
To what is it? Is it because we are making losses? So why the taxes? I just want. Is it payee and the rest, or?
Yeah, these are withholding tax withheld by other people we paid. So it's a tax credit to us. So we acknowledge it.
In 2022, you made a loss of deficit of 288, and that has increased to 649,000, an increment of 124%. How are you correcting this?
I'll hand over to my boss.
Mr. Chair, if I can come in here, at the risk of repeating ourselves and not incurring the lecture, in 2023, when we're paying the debt of the equipment we had bought in dollar rated, of course, we made that huge loss due to the exchange rates. But by 2024-2025, we have finished paying for the equipment. So going forward, we know that we will not be incurring this sort of huge losses, because now we finished paying, thank God.
Which year was the machine acquired or procured?
Late 2019.
Madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Respectfully, we don't enjoy giving lectures, so we just talk about things that we are representatives, and then when we get those conversations going and there are any suggestions, we all that we all sit together and see how best we can do it. So it is not to believe that everybody here maybe should have been working in his or her constituency, but we have been given a task to do. So we don't enjoy giving the lecture. We all work together to make our country a better place.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it in that way. I was making a jest.
Now that your apology has been accepted, can you go back to tell me when the machine was acquired, please?
Machine was acquired late 2019. We did some renovations in the gym. Just after we finished the renovation, and we're hoping to open 2020, COVID hit. So we closed down for the greater part of the year, 2020, almost in 2021. So we couldn't make payments, unfortunately. The plan was that we paid for the machine in 2 years.
What's your current relationship with your creditors?
So currently we finished paying.
Honorable, it's fine. It's a good relationship.
You are showing the current ratio of 0 to 3, meaning that you find it difficult to meet your current liabilities. That's why I asked that question. And if you look at your current liabilities, it has increased by 39, almost 40%. So practically, I want to know your relationship with your creditors and how you are managing them, whether you're able to pay them or not.
Yes, please. We are able to pay them as and when the liability is due.
I will advise that you improve on your current ratio so that you'll be able to pay you'll be able to meet your current liabilities as and when they fall due. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm done.
Civil, the aviation center, is that the one by the airport over here that I drive past all the time?
Yes, Honorable.
Hey, Honorable Edam Agbana has a question to ask.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, mine is a public interest question, and just to bring the minister's attention to the fact that looking at the audited accounts and their financial position is not encouraging at all. And I am finding a strategic area will be performing poorly, abysmally financially, at the time that private event centers are making so much. I visited not too long ago. We may have to look at maintenance of the facilities and how well properly facilities are kept. And maybe through minister engage cabinet to ensure that state institutions that host all these end of year events and what have you instead of patronize the event center so that you'll be able to regain some financial strength. That's all I have to say, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you very much.
I think you hit on management. Okay, civil aviation. Aviation Social Center, you are discharged.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Now let's go to PSC Tema Shipyard. Please introduce yourself to the committee.
My name is Alhaji Osman Suleimana, the CEO for Tema Shipyard.
My name is Peter Mensah, Deputy CEO.
My name is Fred Fenton, Head of Finance.
My name is Nuruddin Yusuf, Head of Cost and Billing.
Samuel Che Asante, Legal.
Okay, we'll start with Honorable Duke Allen with paragraph 1175, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll start with your financial position, or financial performance, please. The company seems to have turned around over the last 2 years, and I commend you for that. Government is also very keenly interested in promoting that business. Your revenue dropped by 3.6%. However, other income went up by 127.2%. Can you let us know why?
Honorable Chair, with your permission, I would like to ask the head of finance to respond to the question, please.
So, Honorable Chair, so for the revenue that dropped by 3%, we have 4 revenue line items. In 2023, we were able to generate revenue for all these 4 line items. However, in 2024, revenue from engineering jobs and FOQ, there were no revenue generated from those line items, accounting for the decrease in revenue. However, the overall position for our major revenue generating income, which is ship repairs, between 2023 and 2024, there was an increment. When we come to other income, you rightly said there was 127% increment, which was right. And this was due to the fact that we had signed new contracts with some in the 127% increase.
Next question is cost of sales. At the drop of 58.3%, why is that? Is it that you were servicing the same clients? Because cost of sales is to bring in new clients. So can you explain?
Cost at the cost of sales level, and 2023 thereabout, there was rationalization of the staff. Hence, we saved a lot of money over there. That's why there's a drastic reduction in the cost of sales.
Okay, so that helped with your bottom line because your profit was up 83.9%. So you are outsourcing your technical experts to companies. Financial position. Total assets also grew by 39.1%, and your current liabilities dropped by 37.3%. Can you explain, please?
For total assets, the main increment in the case of the current assets, we paid a lot of our creditors, so payables were reduced, leading to the drastic reduction in that area.
Mr. Chairman, it's interesting to note that they've done very well, that their current ratio moved from 1.3 to 1 to 3.1 to 1, and you should be commended for that. One question I have. What steps did you take in 2024 that would help your bottom line in 2025? What major steps did you take? What initiatives did you take that will help in 2025 performance?
So generally, we were very cost conscious. Overall, we were very cost conscious. And as I really said earlier on, we have moved most of the staff to the contractors, the subcontractors. So labor costs has reduced drastically. And this, we hope it will increase the performance for 2025. In fact, we have performed well.
We read somewhere in the news that the government of Ghana was partnering Malaysia.
Well, it has not come formally to the attention of shipyard itself, and the board is investors. When that becomes necessary, obviously. So the expression of interest will be known to the general public. but it has not come. We just had a preliminary.
And I do have some few questions for you.
It's just a point of clarification. If you look on your statement of comprehensive income, you have two line items that I would want us to draw attention to. We have the income tax expenditure or expense, that is about 4 million. And in that same, just two lines below, you have deferred income tax provision and credit. Have you seen it, please? What is accounting for those two in the exact position? Like that.
Yeah. So for the 4.4 million that we have over there, were the actual taxes we paid for 2024.
You know, I'm actually to pay 4 million in 2024 and still had another 2.4 million or 2.1 million that you deferred.
Yeah, so 2022, when we go back to 2022, we were in a loss position. So those losses were carried forward. That's why when you see the tax expense at 2023, it's a dash over there. So that is the explanation I can give to that.
But if we're not in a loss position, you would not have any taxes there so that you defer it. And secondly, that would also have had a reflection in current liabilities. And if you look at your current liabilities, they both stood still, 35 million, 35 million. Yes. There was no increment in that. In specific reference, there should not be any deferred taxes there. Or is it that you had losses also in 2022 that you were still carrying?
Yes,
or profit in 2022?
Previous 2-3 years back, we were making losses, so it was carried over.
Perfect. So it means if 2-3 years we are making losses, you cannot have taxes that you defer. Because if you are making losses, there will be no taxes. So if 2-3 years before 2020 you are making losses, there will be no taxes for you to.
So please, I would relook at this and talk to the tax consultant on this.
Okay, all right. Have a relook at it.
Okay, the next infraction is from Honorable Cletus Depala.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, Dombo, I'm from Dombo's hometown. You do only 14% there. Honorable Chair. Yes. They have to come and do a lot there. Anyway, Chairman, this infraction has to do with some enforcement. Two of your customers defaulted. There was a court enforcement that you recover some money to the tune of 470,000 United States dollars. Can you explain what you've done so far in terms of recovering this amount?
Mr. Asante to respond to the committee.
We have filed processes in court to have the matter continued. For one of the first of it, we are going through with it. We are at the stage of hearing the matter, and virtually we will say we are in course to make sure that we enforce the debt.
You finish. Chairman, okay, you come in if you want to come. These companies, these two companies, do they still do business with you?
No.
The legal officer, do you have any idea about the Public Financial Management Act 2016?
Yes, I do.
Section 91. How long have you been I mean, dilly-dallying with these people for 470,000 US dollars.
So there was a form of a settlement agreement with the company, and they were looking up to it that they could make the payment in installment, but at a point it was defaulted. Then the
Counsel, with all due respect, that wasn't my question. How long have you been playing around with these people?
So the case with the last of activities was in 2023. Then in 2024, the legal officer then commenced with the process to enforce it.
But why can't we enforce it? The court ruled in your favor, right?
There is no conclusion yet for one of them. But for one, there was a settlement agreement, and we are taking steps to enforce it.
The settlement agreement, for how much?
For about $240,000.
Why can't we enforce it?
So we've taken steps. An entry of judgment has been filed. We are taking steps to ensure that leave is granted by the court. Then we can attempt settlements. We can attempt enforcement on the companies.
Minister, on the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Section 91, it says collection and receipt of monies due public corporations. The board of directors of a public corporation governed by this act shall ensure the efficient management of financial resources of the public corporation, including collection and receipt of monies due to the public corporation. Number two, where a public corporation willfully or negligently fails to ensure that monies due to the public corporation are collected or received, the minister shall, upon the recommendations of the Attorney General, Auditor General, withdraw or suspend the emoluments of the members of the governing body of the public corporation, either jointly or severally. I am being seeker, so nobody is collecting it. When did you enter the settlement agreement?
It's to the best of my recollection, I think it was somewhere in 2023.
2023. And 2025, this amount wasn't collected.
So the arrangement was that money to be paid by not pay shipyard. So
do you have any sureties?
Yes.
Why don't you fall on the sureties?
That's why I said we are taking steps. We filed the
But
entry of
when?
judgment.
How long?
We've done it. We are in court now, sir.
How many of the installment payments did they make?
I don't have it off record, sir.
It's $470 Donald Trump dollars. Donald Trump dollars. And these people owe you shipyard, and we are playing around with it. Okay.
Chairman, I would advise the minister and the management, Tema Shipyard, that we don't want to see this next year. We want to see effort being made to recover the money. You are not that company that has so much money. You need money for your own operations and development. So if your customers are owing you this amount of money, it's big. 470 United States dollars is not small money. 1,000. So you have to make effort to collect it. It will help the company to run. Thank you. But we don't want to see a repeat of it. We don't want the auditors to flag it again in the next audit report. We don't want to see it.
So I was quiet because we have to follow the legal proceedings, but the available information, the background checks that we have done, those vessels are scrapped. Those companies, they don't exist any longer. So once you have mentioned the fact that this thing is going to happen, maybe probably next year, you don't want to see it. Until they have used vehicles, and those vehicles they don't exist.
And you are telling us that nothing could be done about it?
No,
Chair, what he's trying to put across is that we have checked those companies. The sureties they put are non-scrap. And that is why we have gone back to court to pursue them. So it is not that we are saying nothing will be done. No, he wanted to communicate, but we are back to court to be able to enforce that retrieval of the 470,000 US dollars, because all that they gave in surety are not anything we can get anything from it. So we are hopeful that we'll go through the legal processes and be able to enforce the retrieval.
One of them has a landed property valued over 300,000.
So this has a lot of dimensions because it's in court. Some of those indentures they give are fake. So the court want to go through the processes and ensure that the court will now give a judgment for us to be able to enforce.
With Mary and two others. And you have the suit number as 181-2021. The item that was seized was a vessel. But when you go to the surety that the person provided, it was a title document covering landed properties with a price valued of not less than 300,000 US dollars or its equivalent in cedis. How can such a property be scrapped for you to go back to the court? It is just because instead of you following up with the entry of judgment and pursuing this property, because it says a title document, that cannot be a fake indenture. And how can this surety, the court accept this as a surety when it's a fake document? So, we can rewind and have something proper to tell us. But to say it's a fake document or otherwise a scrap document that was entered into surety by the court, please.
So if I may come in, Honorable Chair. The vehicles that were used as sureties were provided somewhere 2021. And we are looking at the number plate of those vehicles, 12XZ to this year, 2026. And we don't believe it to have the same value as it would have had in 2021. That's for one of the cases. For the other, I'm finding it difficult to give the full reasons why it might be difficult to fall on the land, because it might be an opportunity for the defendants to now arm themselves with that information, to use it as a challenge or a means of hindering our process in court. But it is not a titled document, though it is stated as so. It is a landed property, but not titled.
Auditors, in the report that we have, page 258, it says titled documents covering a landed property. But Liga, have you cited any of these documents?
I have. That is why I speak to it in that form.
And when you look at those documents, you say they are not titled documents to a land.
Honorable Chair, I want to plead with this committee, since we are in court on this issue, if you could allow us to not to go deep into it so that we can use the legal processes to come to an end.
He says the documents were not titled documents, and that can be used by the defendants in these matters to hinder their processes. So I was only trying to confirm from the auditors, because they would obviously cite documentations before they do these reports. So if they would request to go back and come, no problem. But at least we also have to ascertain for ourselves what these reports carry to us.
Honorable Chair, we'll still stand by what we have in the report until they are able to prove otherwise.
Minister, you see, that is why we sit here. We want some of these confirmations because you see, it is our duty and your duty. It is our duty and your duty. It's just that we just have to be following up on some of these things. At times, even going for the leave of court to establish some of these things for enforcement and the rest, we find them as cumbersome and we just leave. Trying to do background agreement. Legal, please.
Please, I just want to give some, the expression of titled document, it's legal. And it means that the person has gone through the full process, has the document registered, and has been issued with a certificate. But once the person has an indenture over it, and it's in his name, it's still a landed property with a document covering it. But you can't use that legal term to qualify it. That was just what I said on that one. And
were
once
these sureties?
The court. Okay. Then we've been in court. Even in November, we were in court to follow up on it. And in February, we will be going to court to pursue the matter. So it's just that sometimes you can't have your own way in court to determine the days in which your matter will be heard as quickly as possible, but we are in court pursuing it.
Were these sureties provided to the courts?
This is a maritime matter, and it's treated differently, unlike other matters. And you could technically say it was provided to the court, but depending on the agreement that is given, it can be given to the other party, the plaintiff, to make sure that it's enforced, but the copy of it has to be kept by the court.
So the court would have to accept these sureties?
Yes, based on what the plaintiff is able to accept.
So the plaintiff would have to accept, regardless of.
So this is how it goes. The court would give, you would apply for it to be the vessel to be seized, and when it's seized, the other party comes in with some kind of surety for the vehicle to be released. Then the court will look at the conditions to be met for the vessel to be released. So if the person brings any form of property that the court justifies as adequate to guarantee the release, then it is done.
The next infraction will be handled by Honorable Frederick Yao Ahinkwa.
Thank you, Chairman. This infraction has to do with unpaid Senate penalty to unpaid and delayed contributions as at 31st August 2024. Management said they had contacted Senate on the issue for reconciliation. Auditors recommended to management to take steps to reconcile with Senate and settle any amount determined as the penalty to prevent interest on unpaid penalties. This is a response of management. The penalty date back to 2009. However, they have contacted Senate for reconciliation of this issue, and the report will be available for. It's on boards and then the corporations. We've seen a lot of distance, and it's like it's becoming a rampant in a phenomenon. These issues borders on welfare matters. If somebody serves this, the person should earn something. And these stipends are what are accumulated and given to the person. So what may warrant that you deduct monies, and these monies are supposed to be given to Senate for Senate to invest and pay workers out of that, and then you deny them this. What is the problem? I want to know, because it's just recurring. We have had a lot. If you look at the report, unpaid penalty, unpaid penalty. How do you want Senate to pay the workers? Comment on this and let's move on.
Honorable Chair, and the view that you hold, that is the view that everybody, every Ghanaian and every taxpayer holds. When this matter was brought to our attention, we settled that.
Auditors, per your report, you stated that the penalty, I think, started in 31st August. They are also saying, management is also saying that it started back to 2009.
Honorable Chair, what we can indicate here is that the entity met with Senate and fully settled it. So the matter is actually settled. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The next infraction is on paragraph, that is non-performing investment. You invested,
yes.
You invested 4.2 million Ghana cedis.
I think
It's part of
100,
your
yes, it's part
okay.
of mine. Yes. You invested 4.2 million Ghana cedis. And then as at 31st December 2024, this investment has reduced in value by 773,792. So this whole figure has reduced to 3,426,000 Ghana cedis. I believe when investment is done, at least investments are done for profit or an increase. Even if nothing is done at all, maybe the increase should be in a decreasing manner, but not to affect the entire or the principal investment. So something is bothering my mind. What is the cause? What has led to that sharp decrease? Because you have invested and you're supposed to yield some profit. And this is the reverse. What is the reason? We would like to know.
Honorable Chair, the information we gathered, it was as a result of the domestic exchange problem. You know, you had some financial crisis. But I can confirm to you, as at even October, the value has appreciated to the value of about 5.2 million. And as at yesterday, yesterday when we checked, the value stands at 5.9 on amortized value, but with the market value of about 5.4. If we want to redeem it today, then we should be taking about 5.4 million. It is because it's performing, that is why we did not. Besides, we have left it out for a particular purpose.
So the money is still at the bank?
I want to repeat, yes, it's at the bank, it's with Ecobank investment, the 1st of December, is valued at the cost of, at the value of 5.4 million, which is better than.
Auditors, can you confirm?
Honorable Chair, we would have to be updated with that information. When you look at the response was that they were going to withdraw the amount from the bank.
In fact, I can just present a copy to
they
the
are
auditors.
Yeah, so once they have decided to maintain the amount in the bank and alluding to the fact that the value has gone up, then they would have to
have it on a soft copy. I don't have it. Yeah, he didn't print it yesterday. Yeah, that is the yesterday's one.
Sir, you were cited by the auditors. And anything that the auditors have cited you on, should the situation change, it is your responsibility to inform the auditors before you come and sit in front of us. Was that information given to the auditors?
Yes, Honorable Chair, the information was given to the auditors. You know, we're supposed to have this last year. That was given, and the statement was up to the 31st of October. Now, we now have the current one, which yesterday they had sent it, and that one was not printed. That is what I said, the value has now increased. So it is what is concrete. The evidence is there. We can print it out or and give a copy.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Thank you very much, Chairman. CEO, if I may find out, you had an investment. The bank, your investment. As finance directors, you need to be checking on your investment. And instead of your investment appreciating, there's a reduction. And the auditors have to come to your office to tell you that there's a reduction in your investment. And I think you have a lot of investments in other institutions. So are you checking them?
Yes. I think because the question you were asking me at that time, I wasn't there. And I have a responsibility to, as it is, to answer to the appointment of a public account committee. What we are saying is when the infraction happened, when the recommendations were made for us to redeem that particular investment, even at that time, I wasn't there. But the report that the reason why they did not redeem the investment, when they went in, it has started appreciating. And what accounted for the reduction was due to that is the impact of the domestic exchange program. They even went ahead to redeem that, and they could not even get the money. They could not. That is the information that I got. That was the information that I got. I follow up with my finance director. Mr. Frederick, can you?
CEO, let me ask you, sir. You said you were not there. The financial officer, was he there at the time of this investment?
The financial officer wasn't there. He wasn't the main person.
Who in the company was there when this investment was done?
None of us. None of them.
So everybody over there is new.
We decided to revisit the issue by getting back to the bank. And after the accounts were printed out, we noticed that the investment was actually appreciated, not as it was. And so we had to go through all the processes to ensure that as at today, the value has appreciated. There were that kind of differences at the time of the audit. We have realized that it's a viable investment and we needed to continue so that we can be able to settle our future indebtedness. So these were the lapses in the Tema shipyard.
Minister, I understand what you are saying, but that investment, if it hadn't lost over 770,000 Ghana cedis, maybe it wouldn't be.
Honorable, could you please come again? Please. Honorable, please, I didn't hear a question. Could you please repeat it?
You didn't hear my question?
Yes, please.
Because what I asked was, when you took over, how long ago? Have you been here?
1 year, barely 1 year. That's why we followed up and we were updated on this.
You are what?
And we were updated about this situation.
Okay, the next infraction is from Honorable Edem Agbana, and it's on paragraph 1202.
Infraction has to do with some irregular ground rent. That company and the Ghana Port and Harbors Authority, your landlord, indicate that you were expected to pay about 6,000 Ghana cedis yearly for 25 years. But GP indicating that you are in arrears of about $6.6 million. And in your response, you said because of financial challenges, they as your landlord held on with the payment. So payment was in abeyance. I want to find out from you if from the time this audit was conducted till now, you have been able to produce the documents indicating the changes in the rent agreement that you have with your landlords, the GPHA.
Okay, Honorable Chair, we have not been able to get any documentation of any review rent agreement. Since the other one had expired, they had not been. It was just a request letter from GPHA. Let me give some little background. I think the committee will. PSC, the Malaysians were operating during the privatization area, that is around 1997 thereabout, and they held it until 2013 when Cabinet took a decision and decided to take Tema shipyard back, and GPHA had to settle the indebtedness government owed to them. So, of course, if private individual is operating across the same time that GPHA was operational, that was the same period that Kwame Nkrumah built Tema shipyard and allocated those people that were settled. In fact, this issue has been brought to the attention of the Honorable Minister, and we are at the conclusion stage. he just, I can, with your permission, we have ceased payment based on the recommendations. We have not hence paid. We have what they call, so the attention of the minister, he's here, he can highlight on that.
Okay. Honorable Chair, if the minister can update the committee on progress on the negotiation on this particular item.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, like he narrated, this has to do with a long-standing rent payment, ground rent payment to business. So we are taking an internal arrangement to see how we can have a common settlement, because Tamaship Yard is not all of them. So we are having conversation as to how we can bring a closure to the however, the Tamaship Yard has ceased paying. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, my final point on this is that the report also indicates that in 2024, on what documentation was the payment made? Is it that anybody at all can write to you and tell you that you owe me this amount and you of the rent agreement that you have, and yet $500,000 was paid in 2024? I think beyond settling this issue between the two institutions, we need to understand what prompted that made the payment, what document informed the payment, and if possible, if there is any wrongdoing on the part of any individual, the person needs to be punished for it.
Honorable Chair, the head of entity at that particular time was seconded from GPHA, director for Kita Ports. So he had even an office at GPHA. So as to the auditors have reiterated, there was no any evidence of any review. So I will not be able to speak much about it. But all what I'm saying is that he was, what do you call it, acting as a chief executive officer for Tamaship Yard. At the same time, he was a director of port. And that was under the direct supervision of like GPHA.
Mr. Chairman, even though I said my final, if I can have a final bite on this, respectfully. Honorable Minister, the revelation from the Director General MD, Chief Executive Officer, I think that these are serious issues, because if a staff on secondment from GPHA is the one making the payment back to GPHA, there are also issues of conflict of interest. The same person was acting as Chief Executive Officer for the non-existent Keta Port. And then these are very serious issues that I think we need to get into. Is there any explanation this particular expenditure of $500,000 in your handing over notes?
Audit report. I haven't been able to, I have not cited it, and I'm under oath. I can't say things that I have not seen. Maybe perhaps it's in there, but.
Honorable Chair, I leave the rest for your direction. Thank you.
CEO, Director General, and so when you were appearing before the Public Accounts Committee and you cited this infraction, How did you prepare for this?
Chair, like earlier on said, it was brought to our attention and we are having a discussion. It was a payment for government entity to another government entity. And because it was cited or it was stated as indebtedness to Tema Shipyard for rental payments, we have to sit and negotiate or iron it out with the two sister institutions so that they can continue to work together. But we will say that we are far advanced at the areas that Tema Shipyard will be able to have the leverage of no more paying any ground rent and be able to do some work.
It's about the payment of the 500,000 US dollars. He said this infraction has been in the reports for the whole of 2025, for at least from June 2025 to date, and you were coming here. Whether you've been in the office for 2 months, 1 month, we've had people who had been in office for 3 months or less than that. They come and they own up because you inherit both the liabilities and the assets. So I'm asking you, did you at least find out from those who had left, whether this issue of the 500,000, how it was paid? Because the auditors are saying that there were no documents. There were no documents to back the payments that were made because they did not see any agreement asking any agreement that warrants a payment. Some
Chair, with your permission, when you comes to the issue of handling
those things are legal issues. That is not what we are asking for here. All I'm asking is, so did you take time to look at it? If you did not, maybe you can ask that you go back and look at it and then bring us information on this. That should be fine. But discussing who owns this or that, maybe the AG will be the best place to handle that and not the Public Accounts Committee.
Honorable Chair, yes, I did something about it. That is why I sought the attention of the Honorable Minister. And like he has reiterated that we are at a conclusive stage. Whether reconciliations will be done on who settled this and who settled that.
And also, I'll be grateful if you can furnish the committee with documentation on the non-performing investment as was stated then, and how it has fared to date. I'll be very grateful if you can furnish the committee. And the law was part of the domestic debt exchange, and we just want to find out, because this house is a house records, and we want to put that on record as well. Thank you.
Graph 1209, and Honorable Desmond Payto will handle that.
Chair, thank you. Minister, through you, I want to ask Chief Executive kindly to answer these questions for me, because this is purely administrative work. And I'm expecting that whether he's there, he's not there, he can able to answer this question. The infraction said, Ministry of Finance issued a 7-year bond to Tema Shipyard, which was in 2021. Reason being that it came to support the payroll of 2020 COVID-19 pandemic impact. It means there was a negativity. That's why they intended to do so. Now, the bond were matured 9th August 2027. And there is the need to create a sinking fund so that we can amortize this bond into rates. What that you have taken this up to? Thank you.
The same investment that we talked about, the investment to EcoBank, the EcoBank investment has been ring-fenced to cater for it. And like I have stated even as of today, if the amount falls due, we will redeem it and to settle that investment with indebtedness with the Ministry of Finance.
Chair, I refer back to you. No further questions.
Let me go through this process with you. Risk management, internal control systems, and governance and management practices to ensure that the public corporation or state-owned enterprise and its revenues, resources prudently and operationally in accordance with the objective for which the public corporation or state-owned enterprise was established. The next paragraph, when they issued you this one, you are supposed to establish a sinking fund to pay off the bond upon maturity in 2027. Have you set up the sinking fund?
Once we haven't set up any asset, we decided that we're going to ring fence this particular one to be able to cater for it when it falls due.
Sir, look at paragraph 1210. The Ministry of Finance issued a 7-year bond valued at 4.9, I think it's million, 5.9 in favor of Thomas Shapiro in 2021 as payroll support to the company following the negative impact of COVID-19 pandemic. We noted that although the bond is expected to mature on August 9th, 2027, the company has not set up a sinking fund to amortize the bond. Have you set up the sinking fund to amortize the bond?
Honorable Chair, like I stated, we haven't set up a particular sinking fund per recommendation. But we have...
Why?
Mr. Chair, the Tamaship Yard already has this investment. And so when the recommendation was made that they should set up a sinking fund, they thought it wise to re-fence the existing investment they have for the payment or the resettlement of this investment when it falls due. So that is the reason why another sinking fund wasn't established, but rather to continue to operate with what already the investment we have or they have with the
we recommended to management to in order to avoid a lump sum repayment which could affect the cash flow of the company.
So, Chair, it's just to convert it for the repayment. It's the same Temaship Yards investment. So that investment is the one that is earmarked to for resettlement of the investment when it falls due.
You see,
the essence is to have money ready to pay for the investment.
not
when
only
it is
that,
due.
not necessarily that, because you'll be making a lump sum payment, and that will affect the company's cash flow.
Mr. Chair, maybe what they are saying is that they already have investment which would have been either with of this investment, the investment is left to cater for the 2027 shall it fall due. Say that if it is due, that investment will be used for the resettlement of the investment.
Could you express and to the whole country?
Honorable Chair, I think when you look at the report critical, we have indicated a reason to avoid a lump sum payment, which can affect their cash flow. I don't know the purpose of the investment they have with EDC. I mean, the purpose may be different from, the issue we are discussing. And so, and also whether the value that that investment would accumulate for the period up to 2027 will be enough to cater for this particular bond amount. So it's a decision that they have to make. We have made a recommendation to them. We thought that this is the wise route to take, to set some amount of money there over a period to be able to clear the debt when it falls due. But if they have decided to use the investment that they have at the moment, the question is whether that the value of that investment 2027 will be adequate to cater for the bond amount, and whether when they pay using the investment value, the cash flow of the entity will be intact or will be sufficient to carry the business through.
August 2027 is just a few months away. And if we're going to make a lump sum payment, the auditors have recommended for you to set up a sinking fund for it. And all that you need to do was to do it. Unless you have contrary reason or magic to stop you from making a lump sum payment. Finance officer, don't you understand it that way?
The sinking fund in addition to the investment we have.
Oh, what mama
And respectfully, we would want to have evidence of the establishment of the sinking fund, and also to know currently the value of the bond.
Well noted, madam.
Yes, so you finish the committee. We will write to you formally, and then you finish the committee with the current value of the 7-year bond, and then details of the sinking fund that you are going to set up. It is for your own interest. That's why you are being asked to do this. I don't think the auditors take delight in putting out recommendations, but rather they look at the way the benefits and the cost and what they feel will best serve all of us as a nation or people who have been entrusted with some responsibility.
Okay, the next infraction is on paragraph 1214. And Honorable Queenster will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chair. Your minister is my strategist, so you are welcome, strategist. So, page, what did you say?
I was just thanking you.
Okay, for being my strategist. There's this particular company that obtained approval for the use of single source procurement method. And for the sum of, wow, 11,345,000. And also in dollars, it's 11,200. And 20 for 11.3. Then okay, so these are two different sums for 5 contracts, and it's been noticed that we could not provide performance securities in a form of bank guarantees or insurance. Honorable Chair, with your permission, I would like to refer this to the cost and building manager to respond to.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I would like to first of all say that shipyards operations.
If you could please push the mic closer to.
I would like to first of all say that shipyard operations is basically based on class approval. Class approval. Most of the vessels are under class. And it is through the recommendations of the vessel owners that you choose contractors to work. And what is happening is that we as a contractor is rather required to provide some guarantee for the vessel owners. And the guarantees come in a form of certification. Their requirement is that you have to work with a certified companies. And shipyard basically rely on subcontractors. We are the main contractors. When the job is given to us, we also rely on subcontractors who are certified under the class. And what is happening is that the jobs are escalatory in nature. Because they are normally underwater works, even the vessel owners are unable to anticipate volume of work. And so what happens is that you choose a certified company, ask them to proceed with work. During progression of work, you see that the work expands because the defects are discovered based on surveyors' recommendations. And basically that's what happens. So shipyard rather provides the guarantee for vessel owners and not the vice versa through the contractors.
So that guarantee has been provided, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Has it been provided for now?
Yes, the guarantees have been provided.
Can you confirm for me, please?
Yes, Honorable Chair, it has been done. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, so thank you, Minister.
Sir, I was really interested in what you were telling us. Okay, so I want you to lecture us on what the company really does, because I find it very interesting. And so.
Okay, so the company is basically a ship repair yard. It's more or less a workshop for vessels. And most of the vessels are
class society. We the lay people here, we don't understand. Break it down to us, lecture us.
Okay, the class society, normally they come in different groups. We have ABS, American Bureau of Shipping. We have BV. Veritas. We also have DLV. Those are the classes. Be registered with this particular class before you can work on their vessel. And every vessel, depending on the class they are, they require certification from their class before you can work on it. Basically, that's what happens.
So in a year, how many vessels come to your end for repairs?
In fact, the industry is a very competitive industry. Shipyard is constrained because we are competing with basically private shipyards across Africa.
In this country?
Across Africa.
Okay.
We have one in Cote d'Ivoire, Carina, Cameroon, Douala. There are several of them across Africa. Even Nigeria, we have some shipyards. And most of them, because they are private, they are very proactive. So shipyard is actually in a very serious competitive industry. And we need some government support to be able to compete.
So that is what you should be talking about, and not, refusing to, come up with a simple sinking fund that the auditors want you to do to safeguard your own interest. We've given you the platform. Your minister is here. When you ask, you tell your minister, when I compare myself to Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, and the other places, they have this, they have that, they have skilled workers. So maybe let the Public Accounts Committee and Parliament push you, support you to make a case with the Finance Minister, for the Finance Minister to release some monies to you to also help you expand and be more competitive so that you can rake in more revenue for us. So this is the opportunity. I've given you the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Oh, so I should elaborate more? Okay. Okay.
Sir, I will let sleeping dogs lie. It's interesting, but he's not ready to take the platform.
No, the CEO is here. So
oh, the CEO.
Well, when we come to the other ones that you'll be asking, I would address them all together. And this thing is, the industry is a very competitive industry that require huge capital intensive base. It requires huge investment. In fact, when we took over, there were on the infrastructure base. But as we have taken over, we have raked revenue, we are redeploying most of this into an investment. Because at the moment, currently, a lot of things that we are doing, we're doing a lot because they were just greeted by repulse at that place. The way we think. The notion was that even...
I have given you the floor and you are only lamenting. I have given you the floor and you are only lamenting. Just go straight to the point. Clearly, even in your assets, I see a huge drop. So what are the things that you believe you can...
Equipment.
Yes, and your minister is sitting cranes. Right here. The whole of Ghana is watching. Cranes. So don't lament. Just go straight to the point. I need ABCD. Your minister is right here. Your minister is also a very powerful man. He has the ear of the president, and he can speak to the president on your behalf.
Yes. We, in our own small way, we are investing much into the infrastructure. That we are not fine, but we're still asking for the attention of the minister to do more, because we are raking revenue. We are reinvesting those revenues into the infrastructure.
All right. The next infraction is on paragraph 1219, and Honorable Gape will take care of that one.
Chairman, thank you. Before I even proceed on that question, I'd like to find out from you, what kind of investment are you into? What kind of investment are you into?
Investment are we into in terms of?
Investment you are talking about, you are briefing the committee about. What kind of investment are a lot? Oh, okay. Is it into infrastructure? Is it into, we would like to know.
Yeah, infrastructure. infrastructure, in terms of machinery, we forklift, which of course we have purchased about 2 of them. We have even in the procurement process, we've purchased cherry pickers. They are yet to be. Even vehicles, we don't even have vehicles. We have been able to even, acquire about 5 pickup and 2 4x4 vehicle to support the operations of the place.
Thank you, CEO and the Minister. This question is borders on single source procurement without approval. The auditors noticed that management engaged the services of KPMG from 2020 to 2024, $11,000 without seeking prior approval from the Public Procurement Authority. Management responds that considering your limited financial scope going forward, you need to initiate a search to replace KPMG as your corporate tax consultant going forward. What is the status of this?
No payment has been made since January 2025. And in order to we have written to PPA for them to regularize this expenditure. But of course, per their dictates, they are conducting investigation, and it will take a period of 3 months and get back to us.
The infractions, is that what you are telling the committee?
Yes, we have done that because we have written to them for them to regularize that, and they've written to us with an explanation that it will take them 3 good months for them to conduct investigation as to what informed management decision to had gone into that particular contract with their prior approval.
Now, anything about that?
Yes, respond.
Letter from KPMG, then afterwards we will proceed with the next step. So we are in a search. We've spoken with one person, he's promised to assist us in that direction. So that very well noticed.
You see, normally under Section 92 of the Public Procurement Act 2003, Act 663, I should have recommended you for prosecution with the Attorney General, because you cannot have a single source company without going through PPA. But today is Tuesday, so I will let it slide. No, I wasn't born on Tuesday. The next infraction is on paragraph 1224, and Honorable Nakoyo will take care of that one.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Chair, Management Act 2016, Act 921, mandates that the governing body of the public corporation or state-owned enterprise shall establish and maintain policies, procedures, risk management, and internal control system and governance and management practices to ensure that public corporation and state-owned enterprises manages its resources prudently and operates efficiently in accordance with the objectives of which the public corporation or state-owned enterprises was established. Now, per the Public Procurement Authority, In the letter reference PPA stroke CEO stroke 10 stroke 2491 stroke 32 stated that it is mandatory for all covered entities and state-owned enterprises to use the Ghana electronic procurement system for all government requirements. Yes, activities for goods, works, and services undertaken by the company were not processed through the Ghana electronic procurement systems throughout its mandatory requirements for all public entities. Is this a situation where one would say that you are hiding or you are shining away from being transparent to the public procurement process? Thank you.
The shipyard is on GANEP. So it's been, the action has been taken. Copies of even evidence has been submitted to the auditors. Thank you.
I also noticed that you are signatories operationalizing it. Is there any? I also noticed that you are signatories operationalizing it. Is there any?
Been sent back, and it was a recommendation, and we've taken it on. So it's active, actively. It's been in operation.
So can the auditors please confirm this to the committee? Thank you.
Honorable Chair, they have now been set up on the GANEPS and transactions are processed on the system. Thank you.
30, and Honorable Kunedu will take care of that.
Chairman, thank you very much. Chairman, this infraction has to do with ratification of some procurement contracts that the auditors found to be very irregular per section 20 of the PFM Act, and that competitive tendering, but rather you use the request for quotations, and they found that to be very irregular. They asked that those individuals involved be sanctioned and also adhere to the necessary PPA approvals in terms of the ranges for goods and services as per the law. First and foremost, and two quick ones. I would want to know if this has been brought to your attention and what have you done about the recommendations that the auditors gave. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Our mode of operation, like the marketing officer stated, completely different operations. And these infractions will continue to occur if we need to let the public know what we do. Now, most of the services that have been done are based on emergencies. A vessel can just have a problem and they will call at our place to do. You will not be able to go through those processes. In fact, the entities in that committee was even of the view that when it comes to the issue of service itself, we should ask for exemption from the Public Procurement Authority. We have engaged them, and what was agreed was that we should come out with a framework agreement where we pull all the contractors on the pool with an estimated value as to when. So that is what will address this particular agenda. Let me give you a typical example. We had a vessel.
CEO.
Yes.
You see, you drag matters to a level that, in my candid opinion, is inappropriate. You have a challenge, and you have a solution to the challenge. You are telling us it will continue.
the PPA has given you a route that will help you solve the problem. You just go by that. Do the framework, go to them, ask for exemptions, and these things end. Why if you leave to us?
But just trying to learn to tell you that the PPA.
The exemptions now.
Yes, we have.
Have you shown
not exemptions. No, it's a framework agreement.
Do you have the framework agreement?
Yes.
Have you shown it to the PPA?
Yes, they gave us, we applied and they approved, and we have sent copies of that into.
Simple. So why do you have to go the long tangent? It will continue. So if you have the framework, would it continue again?
No, we have.
So why did you say it will continue?
No,
MD, have you shown a copy to them, to the auditors?
A letter has been sent to PPA seeking the approval was sent, and then when the approval was given, I don't know, we sent that. We sent.
You said you don't know.
Okay, that a framework has been given now, which is communicated to the auditors, and from now we will not see any of these infractions any longer.
In that regard.
Honorable Chair, we are yet to receive a copy.
Minister, I would urge that you furnish them with a copy of that letter and the framework.
Very, very soon it will be given to them. So you quickly print it.
What we are doing over here, we are just not, it's not that we are making things up. We have laws that we are all going by. You can't say that the shipyard is a different thing and whatever. No, we go by laws. And when you come here, you feel you are frustrated and this and that. We are just doing our job. And if you feel you are not doing your job, we'll just recommend that the Attorney General prosecute you for all these laws, country of laws. And the law is the law.
Thank you, Chair. We appreciate that. It's just the frustrations they go through. On daily basis, like he said earlier, that this is the way to go, and they will not continue any longer.
Thank you very much. The whole country is watching, and Honorable Shirley Che will take care of that one.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. On the gates of the dock were broken and rusted and poses a threat to the lives of the employer. The auditors recommend that management repairs the broken and rusted handrail. Your response to the auditors was that you are in discussions with third-party operators to do a comprehensive repair of the dock. Can you update the committee on how you've gone with this discussions?
That has been fixed. That has been fixed.
Is there evidence to this effect?
Yes, please. Evidence of pictures of the current state has also been sent.
Have you provided the auditors with this? Auditors, can you please confirm?
Yes, Honorable Chair, we can confirm that the repair works have been carried out.
All right. Let me, PSC Tema Shipyard, you are discharged.
Thank you, Honorable
But
Chair.
that's what you choose to do or not to do, like the PPA that you need to go. We are very serious. 2 weeks, you give us the reports. Thank you, you are discharged. Now, let's call Volta Lake Transport Committee Limited. Have you been, Clark, have they been administered their oath yet? Okay. Could you please introduce yourself to the committee, please?
My name is Angela Oforiwa Laute, the acting MD for Volta Lake Transport Company.
Sir. I'm a Japan Bismarck, acting finance manager.
All right, your financials will be on paragraph 1241. And Honorable Nana Oseyeche will take care of that.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Minister, Volta Lake Authority, going through your financials, I've seen that there was, although you made a loss in 2023, 7.4 million. In 2024, you made the same loss, but I should say improvement in the loss. How were you able to achieve this? At least 1 million. 1 million improvement.
Chair, I defer the question to my colleague to answer.
So we had more liquid cargoes. That is full shipment from Akosombo to
repeat there.
Full shipment from Akosombo to Bupe. So that's how we increased our.
You are in the business of transport. A lot more people patronizing your services. And so why must you run at a loss in this regard?
Honorable Chair, we are into transportation of goods and services, and we operate ferry stations, 5 ferry stations, and also push fuel from Akosombo to Wipe for Bost. And so as and when they have the need for fuel to be transported from the southern sector to the northern sector, they push the fuel to us and then we transport it. And so the more fuel they transport to us, they push to us to transport to the north, we are able to increase our revenue in terms of the charges or the tariffs we charge on the transportation.
Thank you very much. See you. So, are you saying that last year you were not doing this transportation of fuel to Bupi?
We do transportation of fuel to Wipe as and only when it is available to us to push. We do this for Bost, and so until they have the need for all the fuel need at the north, we will not push. And so we are at their mercy to push anytime they make it available to us.
You, for the benefit of Ghanaians, can you tell me what Volta Lake Transport Company Limited does?
Operate 5 ferry stations. We have the ferries at Dambai. We have one ferry at Dambai that crosses vehicles and human beings. Across the lake, going to maybe Chindiri, Karachi, and the rest. And so when you are crossing from Dambai and you have a ferry cross you and your vehicle, then you know that that is Volta Lake Company. Aside the passenger side or the ferry station activities, the next one is the long haul, we call it, where we have barges. We have 3 barges, and Bost owns 4 of their own barges. And so we fill our barges anytime fuel is available to be transported to the north, and fill the barges of Bost also, and push it with our push tag to Wipe. Then they pay us an amount for the service we render.
So are always at the mercy of Bost, as and when. But we also know that Bost is always in operations. Is it the case that Bost relies on other companies for the same services, or they only rely on your company for those services?
Okay, fuel goes to the north through the road and also on the lake. And because there is no clear-cut policy as to the percentage or the quantity of fuel that should go on the lake to the north, and we also don't have what it takes. We don't have enough barges to be able to do so, to push the fuel. Bost is unable to rely on us completely or to take the tankers off the roads to give us that service to provide, because we do not have enough badges. Assuming we had about 20 badges, we would have been able to fit into about 5% of what goes through the road to the north. I don't know if I've made myself clear. And so Bost is ever ready to work with us. Can you imagine? They rather have badges that we push for them. They have 4 and we have 3. And so it's a matter of getting what we need, the badges we need to be able to push the fuel, so that our roads can be cleared of a lot of tankers. And it is also cheaper to use us because we charge reasonable fee or tariff on whatever we do. And so that is what we do. And
And
So Minister, you realize that it would have fetched them a lot of money. I mean, if BOST were to solely rely on them to be pushing fuel from one station to that, you had plans of bringing in some badges, and even said that, I mean, there was a Korean Exim facility that is bringing in some ships or something, some new pantos. Yes, because I mean, I know the sufferings that able to create a sustainable business model. When you look at their performance, though their revenues increased, their expenditure outweighs that of their revenue. So the company keeps and the bottom
much, and that is true. We are embarking on a serious move to ensure that we rely on the coastal and inland water transportation. That is the surest way to be able to have long-lasting roads that after construction they'll be able to stay long for our use. And so there are a lot of talks going on. We are pursuing a could now begin, and the debt restructuring things created a lot of troubles for us. But going forward, transport services, because we believe that that is the surest way that will serve the people and make more profit than using vehicles that we've been having conversations. Just that sometimes you have to cross all the T's and the dots before you can come out to announce inland water. The best way and the cheapest way to handle transportation is through the coastal and inland water transport, which we are pursuing seriously. Thank you.
Minister, you mentioned that you are pursuing private means, as in private financing, for some support for
either a partnership with us by the provision of badges that will be used, and then proceeds shared on our contribution. Or in a private sector facility that they will offer us to be able to procure badges. Those are the areas we are looking at.
Minister, it's just an advice that I level before you even think of partnering with other people, because otherwise when they come in and they do most of the furnishing, they will end up giving you little for what you're going to give to them. So I would ask that we look inward and see how best you can pursue the Korea Exim facility, and then as much as possible, government brings Volta Lake to a certain level with a different framework, different set of strategy, and let's see before you think of partnering with private sector. Otherwise, you end up getting not much. He's a hard-working person, and together, if you should bring in the needed resources, and together with her team, I know that Volta Lake can expand and open up. My vice chair positively, because we are not too far from each other. So thank you.
Honorable, we we appreciate this sitting with you. And let me say that we are looking at all options, all doors open. We are also looking at even repairing or revamping some of their old vessels to speed up their movement. The delays in transporting or pushing the crude is also one of the areas. But like you said, we are looking internally, but whilst looking internally, we still want to see how the private sector can also respond. One, services to our people is very important. Even we need profit to be able to sustain. We are also looking at the larger picture. If there will be a private sector that
I'm not.
Okay, thank you. Oh, okay, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Looking at your, I've seen that there's an increment in operating expenses and your general administrative expenses. Although our company is not doing so well, but there's an increment. What accounted for that, please?
Our youngest vessel is about 15 years. The oldest is 55, which means that that vessel is older than me sitting here. And so the operational cost is very, very high. We don't even, we are unable to find the parts at times. Most often you have to go and mend. I mean, it's been a hassle. All these vessels came from 1970 to 2016, where the vessel that was used as Senchi, the two vessels were given to us by the ministry. Even those vessels currently are all running on one engine, one genset. We really need help, as the minister said. So this is why our operational cost is very high. What a new ferry, maybe a new ferry could run with 20 liters. 50-year-old ferry is running an operation instead of 20 liters. It's running with 60 liters.
I think, as my vice chairman said, we should design a model for this company. And with the way she's speaking, I think they can do well if we design a proper business model for them, so that our roads will be safe. Moving from Accra to Kumasi, and when we get to the chairman's constituency, and you see the number of tankers on the road, we pray to God that nothing happens. But in case something happens, there will be a day, National Mourning Day. I think we shouldn't wait for that. We shouldn't wait for that.
See, Honorable, the reality is that it happens all the time. We see these tankers fall off the road. I mean, they engage in accidents, especially when you are going to Kumasi and you get to Nkoko in the evening. You see them packed along the lines at the road. It's worrying. Perhaps, and I understand why Volta Lake might have placed last on your list. Because they are poor. They don't have money, Minister. They don't have money. But the reality is that the other agencies that came under your ministry, and they are making huge profits. I feel that because they have money sitting in their accounts, and some of them, they don't have anything to do with it, and they retain their IGF. If you look at the PFMA Act, the Minister of Finance can come to Parliament, and Parliament can instruct that these big companies, some of them, they should buy the vessels for them, let them engage in business, and later they will pay. So I think that arrangement will help. let's look at that.
Chairman, that's true. But just to say that the agencies you call big, they have a lot of commitments. So sometimes they are unable to fully cater for themselves and take care of other agencies. However, I've made them to write internally to some of the agencies to see if they can support in some of these things. But because we've not gotten any concrete answer, it's difficult to put it out here. But I must say that...
Minister, let me give you a classical example. Government has a flagship program, the 1 million codex program. At the point when funding became problematic for the 1 million codex program, I think Cabinet directed that NCA and get to that level. And the state now begins to appreciate the importance of having these fuel vessels move on the water bodies instead of working. She wants to work. She wants to be rallying around and bringing us fresh. But I don't see that happening.
Chair, I agree with you. But you see, we've also limited transportation, especially Volta Lake transport, to only government and government. And what we are seeing is that, no, let us open up a little for private participation. For instance, we have our airports. It's the private planes that are utilizing the place, and we make more money from them. It's just a matter of having an arrangement with the private vessel owners who will want to help us. And at a percentage, we all agree, we'll be able to serve the people. The good is that we should remove heavy transport from our roads to our coastal and inland water bodies. That will be more cheaper for us. The only thing you need there is the craft. You will maintain the water. So when it comes to accident, the rates of damages or deaths or injury will be lower as compared to and be able to see how we can bring the private people who will help us to be able to serve our people through the coastal and the inland water transport. Than 10 times a day. But let's limit it so that...
The next infraction is on paragraph 1251. And Honorable Gape, hold on. Let's finish the questions.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. So, my sister, you are welcome. Am I hearing right that you have 5 ferry stations?
Yes, we have 5.
You have 5 ferry stations, as you
Yes.
said, but you have only 1 ferry per station.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what do you intend doing to expand the operations, especially on the Volta Lake? What ideas and what? You are very hardworking, like everybody is saying. So, what strategy do you have in place to expand on the Volta Lake? Yeah. Thank you.
The minister said it all. We are in talks with private Ghanaians to support us. It is very expensive to build a ferry. You don't need less than 10 million USD to build. It's about $5 million for. Realize our area of operations is capital intensive, and it will be difficult to, like the chairperson said, to just leave it in the hands of only private individuals, because they will end up taking all the profit. That is why the minister thinks that it should be the state and private individuals. And so one ferry at a station, now we have a problem of when one breaks down, until we get the parts, we cannot work. And I want to take this opportunity to empathize with the people of Agodeke, Afram Plains, where they rely only on us, and for almost are down. The two engines are down. We can't get the parts. We need generators. We need two generators. We have only one on. Everything is just not working. But I want to say that there is hope. We will do everything within our means. The minister is working hard with us and to make sure that in the next 1 month or 1.5 months, we will be able to resolve some of these issues. And so I agree that it's not easy. And if you want to grill me on this, you will grill me forever. And so pray with us, open the doors for us, so we can get funding to be able to do this. And I want us to get those little issue because we have a lot of
Water down on the issues. They don't do much. They don't. I sat on the board of the resettlement program. The money doesn't come. I mean, when it comes, it's inadequate. If they are doing well with their money that they have, by now you should not suffer. More for you. They should be doing more for you.
So, Mr. Minister, as she complained, a ferry is broken down for all those weeks. So what is the immediate alternative? What is happening? What is the immediate alternative? There should be an alternative because it's only one at a ferry station. When it breaks down, what is the immediate alternative for the ordinary people?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We, like she said, we have intensified the search for those parts. For now, we are not able to lay hands on the that we will get those vessels, those barges moving. However, the local boats are supporting on daily basis and helping the commuters to move. But we have intensified the search for those, the canoes or the boats that they use. They are just supporting, doing some small works, not huge like what the ferry could have done. But we are very sure that now that we have opened so wide and look for the parts, we are very certain very soon we'll be able to acquire some to fix those vessels.
So, many boats, they are insured, they wear their jackets and all of that, or it's just an alternative. When anything happens, then we move to them. We don't even know the pilots, whether they are qualified or not.
Ghana Maritime Authority is doing a lot in educating our canoe users or boat users. We deployed or we employed safety guards who are along the lake and giving some education. We are to have a roll out of our actions that we want to implement with force added to it. We've been doing education. We are getting to a point we have to enforce that. We can now tell you that do not operate here any longer because you don't abide by our rules and regulations. So the Ghana Maritime Authority with their safety guards are doing some education alongside those crossing points.
Well, what about insurance? With the boats, I'm now talking about the boats because it looks like that's the only alternative. Can we also add to they are a complete alternative?
It's part of the education. We are going to put a licensing regime that will now have all the insurance and all other safety measures embedded into which Ghana Maritime Authority is far advanced in preparing a draft for us to see how we can legislate to put some enforcement or some measures in dealing with the private boat or canoe owners as to what they should do. But like you said, it is very important to ensure that those boats are insured such that if there's any accident, advance in getting a draft
Honorable
that will put before you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, respectfully, I think that this issue of the vessel between Agodeke and Pando, which is affecting the people of Afram Plains, we are talking about it very nicely as though it's not a crisis. But I want to say that there's a crisis there. Many of my constituents are in those areas. They are farmers. For 9 weeks, many of them have harvested their products, even transportation, bringing them out to the market and all of that. It's a crisis. It is akin to, let's say, the road between Accra and Kumasi getting blocked, having a huge crack, and trucks are unable to access it. So it's a national security issue. It's an issue that I want to respectfully plead with the minister that let's get something done about this. As soon as possible, because the people are, they have the issue. It's not a major national issue for discussion. I want to plead with the minister that let's treat this particular issue so that we can get this issue resolved, please. Thank you.
Chair, it's our passengers face on a daily basis. If we say that it is not a matter of concern to us, then maybe we have not looked at it. Critical to be able to assess all the parts in time is one of the reasons. And like we said, we are opening up to see how we can get more new vessels that they will have ready parts that you can get to fix when there's a breakdown. However, we are in contact education, like I said, Ghana Maritime Authority is giving education to the local people who are using their boats or their canoes on daily basis. We know the danger at which from one bank or one point to another, and we want to give the assurance that we have intensified and moved those badges. We will do so. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, the next infraction is on paragraph 1251, and Honorable Gape would handle that.
Thank you, Chair. Before I even proceed, we are not taking this company seriously because I think this company would done a lot for expensive, and countries are using the water resources to help. Then now we are not. So as a country, we need to reset Volta Lake Transport. Volta Lake Transport need reset, seriously. Now, you claim you don't have money. I would like to ask your procurement officer, is he aware, is he familiar with the section 21 of the Public Procurement Act at 2003 at 663? Are you aware of that? That section?
Yes, we are aware, and I'll defer to him.
Procurement officer, are you aware? You are aware?
Yes, sir, we are aware.
So why do you decide to break down procurement into, you split them the same day, the same date, the same company. Why?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. When we take the request all over about 5 ferry stations. So the request for the Manila rope, the shackles, and then the wire rope came according to the various stations. So we had to also procure it as it came to the procurement department. And then vessels are not well secured. It can just drift off, and there was an incident about some years ago. The MV Yape Queen was nowhere to be located. The crew went round as our operation team. Went from both VRA and then VLTC. Then they had to go and rescue the vessel from the dam. According to how the request came for the various stations, they are in dire need for the item, then the procurement team also went ahead to procure it. But when the auditors have taken cognizance of that, we will put all together and then we will use the right method of procurement. Thank you very much.
Procurement officer, the story you are telling us, you are under oath.
Yes.
And then it is clear that it is a bulk you have set for your those involved to be prosecuted. Because even looking at the amount involved is 525,120 Ghana cedis. And then when you look at the breaking of the bulk procurement, the date 16th, the same day. And then the second man looking at this, somebody will say you are even doing this. You are not even smart in doing this. And it's a fact. So it's a bulk procurement will not be accepted here because we are dealing with evidence. The name of the game is evidence. And it is clear. You have been recommended for prosecution. You are I were not there. Chairman, we are in your hands.
Yes, come in.
Chairman, what we do at VLTC, we try to put body and soul together. And we acknowledge that the wrong thing or things were done. We will not repeat it anymore. And so this is my humble plea to the committee.
Yes.
Thank you, Chairman. I have a very huge interest in the operations of the Volta Lake Transport Company because I'm the MP for Pando. And in your presentation, I did not hear, Honorable Chair, the ferry stations. Maybe I missed it, but I didn't hear Pando being mentioned. Is it not one? If it's not, why? Yeah. Now, if Pando is a ferry station, well, maybe you want to answer.
MP for Pando constituency. Pando station on our books is Agodeke Pando. Agodeke Pando. And so we set off in the morning from Agodeke, and then we get to Pando Toko. And so that is in your constituency. And Agodeke is also in another constituency.
So by the mention of Agodeke, by extension, Pando.
By extension, it is Pando Toko Agodeke.
All right. My question then is the construction of landing bays part of the arrangements you are making to solicit private sector participation in the operations of the ferries? Because without a proper operations of these ferries would be effective. You may want to expatiate on that.
Yes, it is part of it. It is not only in Pando Toko. Almost aside Adosu, Wipe and Akusumbo, we have the need to construct landing sites at the rest of the ferry stations. It is an urgent need because as and when we do the local one by using excavators, laterites, and then it rains, it washes the laterite into the lake, and the lake gets silted. Aside that one, VRA is also complaining about the filth it pushes to the dam area, and so it is a necessity. And we are also working, as the minister said, on that.
Well, by that explanation, I would like to assure the minister, Madam Chair, that in fact, will join the CEO in coming to knock at your doors, because operations of these ferries or vessels, it's so critical to respectfully, we're going to be knocking at your doors, and we'll join the CEO to be doing that. So that's some assurance for the Honorable Minister.
Minister, okay. He's being selective. He's being selective. 10 MPs from voter. I'm also part. I'm from Eastern Region.
Well, OT and
it's been very telling. So, Minister, just on the last infraction, and it has to do with some.
But Sina, I'm yet to finish my question.
Okay.
No, it's part of the substantive question that I wanted to. Can I proceed? Thank you very much. The auditor cited a very simple but very significant in company's landed property at Yeji, of the company's landed property located at Yeji. Madam Chair, if the witness can inform the committee on the status of this encroachment, whether resolved, whether the encroached land has been taken back, if you can, throw some light on this. Thank you.
Thank you. When you go to paragraph 1263, the response there is clearly stated that that would have been catered for in when because it is so heavily a financial issue to fence around our properties. But the good thing is that for Akosombo, the phase one of that particular project has been completed, and the phase two will be started any moment from.
Specifically on this Kazim loan facility, what is the status? Because the last time
the minister actually explained it while you were away.
that is approved now,
No.
But we are still working at it, because the last time I checked, I didn't hear what the minister said, respectfully. But the last time I checked, I thought they said there was no objection had been granted, and we were at the verge of securing the facility.
Honorable member.
Where are we?
Honorable member.
Respectfully.
The minister had a lengthy talk on it. I don't know whether you were in or not about the Korean Exim Bank. Yes. Maybe you weren't here when he spoke about it.
If you can allow the minister to just, respectfully, if he can just throw light on what he said, yeah. Not repeat, but just throw light specifically on where we are on the loan. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Just to go a little bit back to his earlier questions, asking whether we're going to do some landed sites for the vessels or what. Yes, because if you don't do that and it rains at all times, you have to go and put laterite and then reshape it. Not only the landing sites that we are looking at, we have a comprehensive plan of having some small terminals to all those crossing points, because people will have to wait at the time for the vessels to arrive at the board of terminal, the debt restructuring program. And I used to see how we can get ourselves to table and see how we can go back to the terms and then, if possible, get the facility to roll out all these things that were part of the programs that the loan was intended for, or the facility was intended for. So with the improvement of the economy and the way we are finally, or we are almost settling all the debt arrangements, we'll be able to get the Koreans to sit with us to discuss.
Thank you, Dario.
So in the management response, you indicated that you were going to recruit an estate officer who will be engaged and pay frequent visits. Have you done that?
Yes, it's been done.
You have it.
Honorable Chair, that we don't have any update on that.
Please.
Head count.
Institution that we haven't called, that is out there. Okay, Madam, you and your group, you are discharged.
Chairman, we thank you for the opportunity.
Minister, you are discharged.
Chairman, let me also add my voice to my MD in thanking the committee for having this wonderful session with you. This will definitely add to the work we, the ministers, do on daily basis with our agencies and asking them to stick strictly to the provisions of our laws governing their operations. And this interaction are very necessary, and for me, it will make with any of these infractions any longer. And so I want to thank you and members, and then the Auditor General Department. We used to be on the employment committee with them. They are also doing good work. May you continue to do that. Asha, I'm grateful. You didn't go on my terms. You went on your own, so you were welcome. And my house people told me you didn't come. You should have passed there.
Nasha, thank you. Thank you very much for attending up on us. So this brings us to the end of the report of the Auditor General on the public accounts of Ghana, public boards, corporations, and other statutory institutions for the period ended 31st December 2024. So when Parliament resumes, we can now send our reports to the floor of Parliament for recommendations to be adopted. So on this note, we bring our two-day session to an end and thank profusely the Auditor General and the Audit Service for helping us, audit all these boards, corporations, and institutions for 2024, and also for all the auditees who attended upon us. We also want to thank the honorable members for their dedication and Ghanaians for following us and giving us Parliament, and the media for consistently making sure that whatever we do here does not stay in the room but goes out for all and sundry to see. We are committed to helping us all ensure that our public financial management is top-notch, and then we go by the PFM Act consistently, and also support the executive and the judiciary to carry out their mandate in respect of managing our public finances. So thank you very much. Rankin, you have been very, very supportive, and I couldn't have asked for a better ranking. So thank you very much for all the hard work that you have put into it. We are very grateful to you. GTV, thank you so much. Joy, CT, and all the others, GH1, we are very, very grateful. And above all, our security agencies, the Ghana Immigration Service, the Police Service, the Ghana National Fire Service, as well as the ambulance community. We are very, very grateful to you for the immense support that you give to us behind the scenes. And let's all pray and wish our country well in this new year, 2026. Thank you very much.
GTV, the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana.
Look, you get somebody from the university to sign somebody's bond. And then when the person doesn't pay, you send the person to Yoko. I think those people are the universities who sign for these people to go out and never come back. If you are made to pay the amount, next time you will make sure that you sign for a credible person. Some of them know that these people will never come back. They sign for them. They know they will never come back.